Let's see if we can spy anything else in this room before we talk to her. Open the drawers.
Blue tablecloths, yet they are shorter than the white ones used in the ballroom.
So they probably wouldn't fit, would
Blue
they?
tablecloths, yet they are...
Yes, I know. So I'm guessing they'd be slightly too short. So obviously someone's deliberately got to the blue ones to make them smaller, or maybe they were smaller all the way. Mary.
Excuse me, but would you be Mary?
What do you want, mister?
The shot.
Did you hear the shot?
Of course I heard everything, but I didn't stop my work. Imagine that someone else had been killed and not my master. Oh, he would have given me a good talking to.
What happened to the carpet?
What's happened here, on this carpet?
An idiot from Hertford's turned over the fowl. Sir Bromsby passed by without even taking notice. It did seem his mind was elsewhere these days. Of course, it was probably because of Miss Lavinia's homecoming.
It was probably to do with the announcement he was making. But what was he like?
What do you think of your employer?
He could be the very devil at times, but not the worst. If you had just known my father. And then the master was so generous with our wages.
So he had a lot of money. We keep getting that. He had a lot of money. He had a very important business that major reporters are coming to hear about it. He could pay well. Cole said you went to the dustbin, the well, the rubbish in the kitchen. Rubbish because we're British.
Did you go to the well during the reception?
Yes, I went there once to empty my bucket. But that was before the dreadful shooting happened.
Only once?
I told you, only the one time. I even called out to that lout Carl not to fall asleep. Oh, he spends his time drinking in the storeroom, and I often find him asleep there. Oh, but please, sir, you won't mention any of that to Miss Lambert, will you?
I see no reason to. He talked about a Frenchman. What can you tell me about him?
And the Frenchman, how could you describe him?
He's a sly one. He's also cross-eyed. Oh, but most handsome and very talkative. Ask Miss Lambert. She's quite keen on him.
So she could be the one who's learning French. And of course she might have been the one who's in charge of... Because she's the housekeeper, maybe in charge of... paying him, so she'd have the... I don't know. What's happened in the passage?
Did you observe anyone pass this way after the shot was fired?
No one's come this way, not from the moment I returned after emptying my bucket, and the whole while I've been cleaning. I only saw Scott, who was in the ballroom. He half opened the door to tell me the news.
Which door?
Thank you, Mary.
Not to worry, sir.
This is just not helpful. I'm around the rags limit. What rags? That's not helpful. In the staircase room, it seems that the source found on the rags here matches what was found on this. In the staircase. Oh, so the person who came through this door is the one. It's these rags. Okay, I think. Don't know why they'd be rags then. Okay, let's go through here. This should take us to this back room. Let us read these notes.
This is a woman's handwriting. What do all these annotations mean?
Let's have a look. Mr. Satterthwaite, Major Lockhart, Mr. H. Grimble, Mr. H. Fowlett, S.H.G. Montcalf, X, Mr. A. Smith, Mr. Crawford, Sir F. Picton, Miss Roundtree, Dot, Mr. and Mrs. Uxbridge, Circle, Mr. R. Edford, Mr. J. McCannon, Mr. and Mrs. G. Stutterheim, Mr. and Mrs. D. Johnson, Colonel Patterson, Dot Cross. Nimre? What would that be? Not Mr. U. Hodge. I don't know. Mr. and Mrs. Blackface, Miss Nellie, Miss Laura, Mr. H. F. Graham, Mr. G. Sweeney, Circle, Lieutenant J. Simon, Miss L. Ingalls, Dot, S. Greystock, Circle, S. MacLeod, or MacLeod, there can be only one, S. J. Speed, Circle, Dr. Jackal. Random annotations. So we're back here. What can... I didn't chat to you before. Let's converse with Miss Lavinia.
I beg you, please leave me. I will answer only to the authorities.
I should reveal one of my hints.
The gun.
Miss, this revolver, is it yours?
Oh, dear God.
Has it been shot? Just look at it, man. The
Why
gun.
would you require a pistol?
My father gave it to me shortly after I arrived. Dear God, what will the police make of this? I swear I did not kill my father. No.
So he was worried about your safety.
Miss, with your consent, I can investigate this matter.
That's not
Mr.
what I thought I was
Holmes.
asking.
Mr. Grimble has explained to me who you are and what you do. I would be eternally grateful if you could find out who killed my father.
That's all right.
Tell me about
But
your
why
father.
would he press you to carry a pistol?
He seemed most anxious for my safety and his own. He told me that he would explain everything to me later, after the reception.
It seemed
I
he
must
was
leave
right.
you now. Be strong, miss.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
You must be Mr. Grimble.
Let me introduce myself. I am Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, the infamous detective.
Famous.
We are
famous.
heaven blessed by your presence.
Not of him infamous.
I am afraid I am still in shock.
You sound it. What can you, who are you? What are you doing here?
Whom do I have the pleasure of addressing?
Mr.
Oh,
Grimble.
I forget myself. We haven't been properly introduced. I am Herman Grimble, advisor to the late Sir Melvyn Bromsby and minority shareholder of Bromsby Enterprises.
Oh, minority shareholder. Interesting. What can you tell me about us? Where were you at the time of the
Tell
shot?
us what you saw.
I was behind Sir Bromsby when it all happened. I am sorry, but as such I could not see anything of interest. But I am convinced that Miss Lavinia had nothing to do with it.
Okay, the murder.
So you knew Sir Bromsby well, then?
What a sad end for such a great man. We first met in India several years ago. That would have been before the birth of Miss Lavinia. We have been business associates and friends ever since that moment.
Okay, well, what can you tell me about him?
What sort of man was Sir Bromsby?
Sir Melvyn.
He was a man with strong character that at times seemed excessive. He was unyielding, but he was a good man.
The future of this.
Have you any knowledge about the succession of his business interests?
Miss
I
Lavinia.
believe that Sir Bromsby had drawn up his will with his attorney and friend Horace Fowlett. When it is read, we will know more about the specifics. But I can assure you that nothing therein would threaten Bromsby Enterprises.
But would it threaten Sir Bromsby? Or Miss Lavinia, I think is the question. Sir Melvyn, sorry. What can you tell us about this lawyer, Horace Fowlett?
And where is this Mr. Fowlett?
He must have been here, because he would have most certainly been invited. Although he is hardly a person of high society. Where could he be, I wonder?
So, yeah, I think he was in the guest list. This speech.
We have found Sir Bromsby's speech. There's something quite puzzling about it.
Ah, you talk about the notes that I left for him. Sir Bromsby always improvised his speeches in public as well as in business. Nevertheless, it was still necessary to remind him about particular points. So I sometimes made notes for him on a sheet of paper. Hold on, he must have made that odd notation himself. It says something about a peasant and a snake. What could it mean?
Could it have been someone he was angry about? Did he have any enemies?
Did Sir Bromsby have any enemies?
Oh, there are always those who envy a man who is successful in business. But to say that Sir Bromsby had enemies? No, I cannot think of anyone who would desire his death.
Well, that's just patently ridiculous. I mean, Sherlock Holmes in the cutscene just said he was ruthless and would at times go against the law. So of course he'd make enemies. He seemed anxious. That's what Mrs. Lavinia says.
According to many witnesses, Sir Bromsby seemed anxious.
Well, he really was a little worried these days, but it was most certainly due to the strains associated with the reception, ensuring a good time for his guests and the happiness of his daughter. They have not seen each other in 6 years. Perhaps he could not see her in the room.
But the speech, he was going to welcome her into the room.
Thank you very much.
I am at your disposal.
Your name is going on the list because you've said so many things that just make no sense. I mean, so he said, Lavinia not in room, but he knew she was going to she was going to come in, and that, yeah. Bromsby Enterprises not threatened. I want to see this will. I mean, I think that's kind of a key element now, is who would have inherited, who had the motive. Okay, I think I've done everything there is to do. Oh, no. Let's go down the side. Oh, person.
You do not seem the least bit alarmed.
In India, I became quite familiar with the sound of gunshots. Therefore, their sudden occurrence does not alarm me as they would a woman or certain officers in attendance.
You obviously think you're very good. Why are you
Could
here?
you explain your presence at this reception?
Bromsby sent me 2 invitations for myself and the wife. My wife has fainted due to the shock of these events. I do hope her condition will last a good while longer, so that I may toss off several glasses of this excellent sherry.
Okay. How did you know him?
Why didn't you intervene?
It would have been of no use. Whoever he is, the man who did this is either a perfect shot or extremely lucky, because old Bromsby had no chance at all.
So you don't think it was a woman?
Very well. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay, yeah. Have I got everything?
It is not the time to join, Watson. I have not examined everything.
Okay, yeah. Not examined everything. Okay, map A. Been in all. I've not been in that room, but I can't seem to get in. Maybe there's a way of getting into the basement. Wait, what?
I need something.
Magnifying glass. What have I accidentally come across?
It is a poor copy of a uniform button. The cannon insignias are hand-drawn.
Okay. That's something new. No, I won't be able to go in, will I?
Yes?
The lid of your...
It makes some noise.
Okay, so he's just going to repeat
I
it.
will
Okay,
let you get back to your work.
All right.
I mean, that's not what it is it? Major Lockhart. Can we try leaving now? I mean, I think I've got everything I can get.
It is not the time to join, Watson. I have not examined everything.
Yes, I have. I've been everywhere. Alright. Let's go in here. Is there any way to... Oh, okay, right, yeah, I'm scanning across, so... that's, right, books, no. Picture, no. I can't think of anything logical to do.